Alright, so today we're going to see if utilitarianism can cover all of the relevant moral parameters. We're going to do this with a little character right here. I'm going to see if I can, it's kind of... a little hard to draw a sweater and whistle at the same time. That's not going to work. Alright, let's paste him in. So we got Doug here. And Doug's about to have a dilemma. He's just walking around thinking about Patty. Having a nice day. And he sees something. He sees a little thing sticking out of the ground. It's a lever. And he's wondering, what is this lever for? And a little bit down the street, he sees something. So he's in San Francisco. He sees one of these. And this is exactly what they look like. There's and it's moving fast. Got some windows right here. And something's wrong. And people are screaming. And a gentleman with one tooth is also screaming. And one person's okay. Also, let's make this trolley on fire. So the trolley's on fire, and it's going down the track. And this track is headed for... The track is headed for some toddlers. Not just one. We got a couple of scared toddlers. Not just two. Big baby tooth. And that one's got shoes on too. And we'll do one more. It's not just toddlers. It's also a raccoon. Nope, it's not a raccoon. A little kitty cat. He's got shoes on too. And everyone's in a state of panic. Actually, it's not just 3 and 1 cat. It's 403. 403 toddlers. And I think more importantly, 1 cat. So what's going to happen is the trolley's going to run into them. And they're going to catch on fire. How do we prevent this? Is there a way to prevent it? Turns out there is. Doug has a choice. He can pull the lever and something else happens to the trolley. And the question for us is going to be, is it morally permissible for him to pull the lever? On the utilitarian account, this is going to seem like the better option. You got one guy. 1 versus 403 children, and also 1 cat. This guy, nobody really likes him so much. This is why. His name's Smelly Steven. And that really shouldn't add anything to the scenario, but I think it does. So, Doug has an option, and it's to pull the lever and have the trolley crash into Smelly Steven. And this seems like a good option. But wait, let's change things up a little bit. See what we can do with our moral intuitions. It's no longer Smelly Steven. It's somebody else. Let's see if our moral emotions respond in the same way. So this is actually somebody that's very dear to Doug. You guess it yet? Uh-oh. That's correct. It is Patty Mayonnaise. Now things get a bit tricky. When you ask normal people about this, you ask people if they would pull the lever, most people say yes. Most people say yes, it's much better to save 403 lives and also the life of a cat over saving one person's life. Now, is it tragic? Absolutely. But it is the better option. But what we're asking is, does this scenario cover all of the relevant moral parameters? Well, it seems like it doesn't cover moral emotion, because what happens if Doug does pull the lever? He gets very sad. It seems that Patty is worth more to him than some toddlers and 1 cat. But, yeah, let's make him really sad. Extremely sad. Suppose it wasn't Patty. Suppose it was just somebody else. We have another question. Is he partially responsible for killing Patty if he does pull the lever? If so, that's not morally right. Let's change the scenario even more. Because it seems like it's just a side effect. Harming Patty is just a side effect of him pulling the lever. It's true that if he doesn't pull the lever, he's also maybe blameworthy for the death of 403 children and one cat. But in this case, harm seems to be a side effect. If we change the scenario a little bit, if we change it to reflect direct harm, maybe our intuitions change. So when you ask most people about this, they say, yes, pull the lever. But when you change the scenario slightly, when you do a bridge, suppose that it's a bridge now, it's no longer a lever, and there's somebody on this bridge, and this individual just finds himself on this bridge. He's just hanging out. He had a day off from the zoo, and he just wanted to watch Trolleys and also eat some Cheetos. Now, Doug has a choice. He can save everyone, including Patty, if he just does one thing. If he gets it together, stops crying, stops being sad, and becomes brave. That's correct. Quail Man. So Doug becomes Quail Man, and he has to make a very hard decision. Does he push this panda? And he gets extremely determined. He has a plan. He puts a belt on his head, not too tight, and he makes a choice. And he decides to push the panda off the bridge. Save Patty and the kids and the cat. Oh boy. In this case, it seems that Doug's not deflecting harm. He's responsible for harming the panda. Moreover, the panda has a right not to be pushed in front of a trolley. So the utilitarian scenario misses the point. It misses certain moral parameters. We're going to spend some time talking about those moral parameters.